Good morning. Okay, so I don't have a very good signal for some reason this morning, so I'm going to keep it short and sweet. So the title is Are You an Observer or Are You a Creator? And everything, when we absolutely take control and responsibility of everything, we now can be in a position where we're in complete control. We're creators. We have the ability to design our life. Um, you know, um, Steve Maraboli said, incredible changes happen in your life when you decide to take control of what you do have power over instead of craving control over what you don't. And so, knowing that you have complete control over your thinking, are we tied to the past or are we drawn to the future? I've said before, we attract what we are, we don't attract what we want. And so, I've watched a lot of law of attraction things. I've watched, you know, um, some things I like about it and some things not so much because I understand the of attracting to us what we are. The Bible says, how do you look at the speck in your neighbor's eye when you have a log in yours? Because it's easy in someone else what we already have inside ourselves. And so when we have self-love, when we have self-care, we can see past all of the shortcomings of everyone else. So it's looking at, what do I want to be? Am I creating my future or am I observing my past? Because typically when we're passive and we're in an observation mode, we're looking at all of the things happening around, and that creates an emotional response. And our emotion is the gasoline on the fire that's driving us forward or pushing us back. And so it's making a decisive connection to who we want to be. We do not become a success overnight, and we do not become a failure overnight. John Maxwell said, this guy came in and he said, John, my wife just left me today. My marriage failed today. And he said, no, sir. It just showed up. It's been failing for a season. It's been failing for a period of time. And the event that but their passion, their fire of who they are going to become in the future, of what that looks like and what that feels like. Working in financial services, I have so many people say, Janine, I just want lots of money. I want lots of money. I want to be wealthy. And I say, why? Because it's going to give me freedom. Well, let's start with freedom. Let's start with that. Let's start where you are. Because the money will not be attracted into a poverty broke mindset. The relationship, recognizing what is not creating what is, because it's already out there. It's already out there and it's waiting to resonate with you. It's like a radio signal. You tune the old radios. I'm showing how old I am, right? We had a little antenna and you would go from dial to dial to dial, and sometimes you'd have to go back and forth until you hit the right signal. And when you hit the right signal, you get that channel. That's the law of the world. That's connecting with God. That's connecting with others. That's connecting with self, self-love, self-respect, self-esteem. Because if it can't happen internally in this house, how can we have it outside the house? You see, Jocko Willink said, most of us aren't defeated in one decisive battle. We're defeated one tiny, seemingly insignificant surrender at a time that chips away at who we really should be. See, who you are is genius. Who you are is magnificent. You're the bamboo. And the bamboo for 5 years will not break ground. But you have to water it. And you have to take care of it. Because if you don't, it will die below the surface. But if you continue to water it and you continue to take care of it, you continue to grow, you continue to self-improve, you continue to forgive, you continue to love in spite of the outside circumstances, in spite of what it looks like, in spite of what the world says. You know, you continue to exercise to lose that last 10 pounds in spite of what the mirror tells you, in spite of what the scale says, because you have this perfect image of where you're going to get. And then let me tell you, you'll get there and you'll say, I think I want a little bit more. I think I want a little bit more, which is why God still has us here. Because we are born to continue to grow and move into new seasons and advance so we can become more for the people that God puts in our life. So are you an observer or are you a creator? Are you creating your world or are you observing the past? That we move into that place of creators. Lord, make me a creator of witty inventions. Lord, help me get in a place where I can be creative internally so I can design it and manifest it externally. So with that, be a creator today. Be observant of the time that you observe and are attached to the past. Let it go. And move into the future. Create. You were designed to be a creator. An amazing, God-fearing creator. Love more, laugh more, create more, be more. I love you. I'll see you guys.